and go.
Okay.
No, but the parties are great. And I talked about relaunching because I know we have people who just started as well. But for those of us who maybe have been here for, 6 months, a year, whatever, we've done these in the past and they actually had some good turnout. But if you're relaunching and maybe you're refocusing back on your goals, that's what I'm going to talk about more specifically in a minute. But the parties, I think, are a good way to get momentum started towards those goals again. Right. So tonight we want to talk about just a mid-year recap or, just evaluation, I guess could be the term. If you are just starting with us, maybe you haven't even written out like some end of the year goals yet. Maybe you haven't made a vision board yet, which we'll talk about here in a second too. Maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you have been here for a little bit and you wrote down some goals and you forgot what those goals are. Like, let's be real. Sometimes we forget, we write them down and we make our vision boards in January and now it's 6 months later. And like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm like, it's a whirlwind. I have no idea what day it is. Like, it's just, so I call it drinking from a fire hose. Like life gets crazy. And so we kind of lose sight or we forget or, I don't know, we just need to revisit those goals. So that's what I wanted to encourage us to do tonight. Like, let's go back to those vision boards and let's see what's on there. You might have even accomplished things on there that you can check off. Finally, I don't know if you guys saw my post today, but we finally closed on our land that we have been in the process of purchasing. I'm so excited for 2.5 years, you guys. And I didn't want to say much because I'm like, well, what if it falls through? What if I just don't trust my neighborhood here? They're kind of shady and it's who the realtor people are. And I'm just like, I'm not going to say it until it's like final and I sign the paper. I had to wait 2.5 years for that goal. That was a goal back in January of 2021. Like, it's been a long time. And so it's finally happened. So that's a good thing about goals too, is like, they might not happen in your time, but if it's still a goal of yours and it's meant to happen, it's going to happen in whatever time it's supposed to happen, right? Like, I wanted it to happen 2.5 years ago, but God is like, no, you're not ready for that 2.5 years ago. And to be real honest, I'm glad it didn't. And I didn't start working on my goal for that land 2.5 years ago, because I think about my kids. Like, my Jude wasn't even like 1 yet. Liam was like 3. I'm like, okay, I didn't know how to manage my goals back then. Plus I'm, with that, I don't mean to talk about myself the whole time. I hope this makes sense at some point, but, I want to open up a food truck park. And so the food truck park, if I would have had that back then and I just started opening up a food truck park, I honestly don't know if I would know what I'm doing. So in this 2.5 years, I'm like, I have to pivot, right? I have to change a few things. And so that's when I bought the food truck. And I'm like, well, if I'm going to own a food truck park, I probably should know how to run a food truck. And so that's where Readjusting came in, which also, Darylyn does hers and I loved it. And I love, I love it so much. So it's really hard, but if I would have had the land and I would have started 2.5 years ago on that goal, I wouldn't have all this knowledge that I have now from running the food truck. And so same with our goals here, right? Sometimes we're like, okay, I'm mobile by the end of 2023. Okay, obviously I want that to happen. I want everyone to be mobile by the end of 2023, but maybe if it doesn't happen, maybe you're just not ready for it yet. And that's okay. That's okay. We have so much learning to do along the way. Like, if I were to come in and I would have totally, hit mobile, let's say, in, a short amount of time, I wouldn't have had these last 2.5 years in Ariel of really learning to be a good leader. I've gone through things in this company that have made me a better leader, that I can relate to people like, hey, I've struggled too. I've lost rank before too. Like, I've had high months as well. Like, I've had to find myself as well. I've had a healing journey. Like, so like, I feel like our goals we have, we might have a timeline on them, but if they don't happen in that timeline, it's okay. It's totally fine. Right. But obviously work for them. Right. And don't just let it go into thin air and just, we'll see if it happens. Because if that's how it was for some of my goals and I didn't take action, someone else would have definitely scooped up that land. I'm just using it as an example because it's fresh in my head right now. For sure. And I even heard people say that they know someone that looked at it And the way I found it is I went knocking on doors, I guess knocking on doors. I went after it. I didn't sit around and wait for it to come to me, because if I would have, like our goals here too, if we sit around and wait for mogul to happen, it's obviously going to take a while, right? If we sit around, or it might not even happen because we're sitting around waiting for it to fall into our lap. We have to take action towards our goals. So it was scary. It was weird. I know nothing about buying commercial property. I bought homes before, but I don't know anything like that side of it. And so I'm like, you know what? Here we go though. I saw billboards and I just started calling people, which I am not going to lie. I really don't like calling strangers. Like there's still a shy part of me that doesn't like that. I saw a sign in my neighborhood and I went to the leasing office and I just walked in and asked them like, hey, I saw something for commercial land. What you got? And that's where the conversation started. And so we have to put ourselves out there for our goals to happen, right? We have to speak it into existence. That's the manifesting part, right? Or praying, or some terms that you want to call it, speaking to existence. I talked about buying this land for the 2.5 years or more about it. I probably shouldn't have told that many people, because people actually ended up doing food truck parks like 5 miles down from my house, but that's a whole nother story. But that's okay too, right? Some people might have similar goals. And here's another tangent I'm going to go on as far as competition, right? So that is my goal. It was to buy the land, open up a food truck park. I told people about it. I spoke it into existence. I talked to my coach. I'm like, I'm telling people, I'm making it happen. I want people to buy into the vision with me. If they want to go in with me on it, if they want to have a food truck on the land, I want to just start getting the word out there. And so I started talking to people, and I took the risk of other people totally taking my idea and totally starting something themselves, which they did. But guess what? I'm still talking to people about what I'm doing on my land, which kind of similar. Actually, I pivoted a little bit, but they still want it, right? Even though it's only 5 miles difference, they're like, oh no, yours is closer. I'd rather go there than over there. So for you and your goals, other people might have similar ones too. And we might start looking around and we're like, oh my gosh, they're getting to their goals closer than I am. They're getting there faster than me. They're signing up people right now and I can't get anybody. Trust me, I've been there, and it freaking is hard. It's hard to like be in that comparison game. But just know that your goals are meant for you. Your vision, your excitement, your idea, your passion that you have, that's meant for you. And just as it is for them, and whatever happens in their time, that ain't up to you to worry about. Like, you don't need that burden on your shoulder. You don't need that stress in your life. You carrying the burden of them hitting something faster than you, because we're all different people. We're all different. We do this all differently, in a different way of doing it. And so maybe they just found their people faster, right? And who knows? Because I've seen this where people like hit pretty quick, and then, maybe they have a downtime. And while they're in a downtime, you're in an uptime. Like sometimes that happens too. And so then they look at you and now they're comparing to you and they're like, what the heck, man? Like, how is she exploding so fast and I'm not? And so everyone has their own season. They have their own time. And so, that's just things on goals. But let's talk about vision board. Darnell, do you want to unmute and you want to share like, what is a vision board? Maybe like, why do we do them? What can you put on it?
Yeah, no, for sure. They're just as important as affirmations. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, until this year, I never actually made one. I always said I was going to make one, but I never did it. And I would like write down the things that I wanted to put on my vision board. And I was like, oh, well, I wrote it down, so it's fine. And you know what happened? Like, things didn't really come to fruition the same way. So this year, at the end of the last year, we made our screensavers into our vision boards. Okay, so I look at this every time I turn my phone on. Every single time I turn my phone on. And let me tell you, I've got 1, 2, I've got 3. I have 3 things crossed off my vision board already, and I'm close to having 4. So like, I think it's because I look at it constantly, and it reminds me every single day that like, oh, well, I don't have 20 rubies on my team yet, and I want to do that by November. So I really need to start working on that a little bit more. November is going to be here before I know it. So I would love to have 20 rubies. And look, again, if it doesn't happen this year, that's okay. It's going on my vision board for next year. It's just meant that it wasn't meant to happen this year. And there's a reason for everything. There's a reason for everything and there's a season for everything. So I highly encourage you to take some time to like write down what you want to put on it and maybe save some pictures onto your phone and do something like this. Make it the background of your phone. I know we all have our kids and our dogs and our husbands, and yes, that's all wonderful and beautiful, but like, sorry, child who's sitting here, I look at him constantly all day long. I don't also need to look at him constantly when I turn my phone on. He's always right here next to me. This beautiful, handsome little boy. Yeah, he's right here, right? So like, it's okay. It's okay, because you know what else? I use this for business, guys. Like, I wouldn't be playing on this constantly if it wasn't for business. So it's like, use this tool like it is your business. Treat it like it's your business, not like it's a hobby, not like it's your kid's iPad. It's not your kid's iPad anymore. You know, get your kid a tablet at this point. This is your business. And like, if you can put that right there on your front screen, I feel like there is a much better chance of you making this come to existence because you look at it every single day. I made it in Canva. I found like a pre-made free template that just had some other pictures, and I just replaced some pictures. And then I just put some words, like there was some colored bars, and I just put some text over some of the colored bars, just to some like just words that like for me that I was trying to achieve, you know, this year, like forgiveness and peace, things like that, because, you know, I'm working on some shit. So it is what it is, friends, you know, but and I look at it, you know, every day when I open my phone, I'm like, we're working on peace. Don't let this person trigger you. You're working on peace. It's okay. You know, like, so there, it's a great reminder of the things that you're working on. And it's a great reminder to just keep your eye on the prize a little bit too. And some things, they don't all have to be family related. Like on here, I have like, go on a yoga retreat. I have 20 rubies by November. I have a picture of the red Jeep that I want to get before my 40th birthday. That's not this year, that's next year. But like, I want this red Jeep really bad. Like, I want this Jeep. Shh. And like this one, like one on here was like secure a balcony spot, and that was on the cruise, and I did that. So like, I can cross that one off. You know, one of them is start my podcast, and like just things like that. So it can be anything. It can be business related. It can be like things that you just like you want for yourself, guys. Like, it's okay to want things, and it's okay to like make money to be able to get the things that you want in life too. Like, sometimes this is not about the money. It's not about the money, but when you do good for others, it comes. Like, it just comes in return, because this will spread like wildfire. Realistically, we have a great mindset. We have like great coaching going on here. And everybody has something to gain from this opportunity. And I'm not talking about that. But anyways, back to vision boards. I just think that they're very, very powerful. Find a template in Canva, download some pictures, find something that, you know, resonates with you and like the goals you want to hit. Doesn't have to all be in this year. It could take you 5 years to knock some of these things off the list. That's okay. That's okay. And like this year, since I've already accomplished 4 things, I might remove those 4 things now that we're talking about it and place 4 new things, because hi, I've already accomplished this. Why am I still looking at it? Next, let's go, right? I don't know. That's just my thought.
Yep, I love it. And that's why we're doing a mid-year like reevaluation, because sometimes you might need to update it. So I know a couple of y'all asked how to do it on your phone. Like Darnell said, she uses Canva. I don't know why. I feel like this is like a really old school app, but it's so easy to use for me. And I've been doing it for 10 years and I'm stuck in my ways here. I'm sounding like an old lady, but so it's called Pic Collage. I just feel like it's so easy to do. You just click on the freestyle, and from the freestyle, you just go to the bottom and it pops up your photos, and you can just like, you know, select a bunch of them. I just started clicking on them. You click the check mark and it just puts it on here, and you can just like move them around wherever you want them. And you can add a text on there too and change the background. I don't know. It's a very, very, very simple app to use, a Pic Collage, and you put little cute stickers that, you know, gifts or whatever they're called that twinkle and are fun. And then you just save it to your phone, and then you can go to the settings on your phone and just go to the wallpaper, I think it's called, and upload the photo, and it makes it the background of your phone, which mine is Black Diamond still. I might need to update that, but Because we're shooting way past that. Okay. All right. One more thing too with vision boards. So it could be digital like that. I'm kind of a like paper person. I like to see it and very visual. Like I want to see it. And I've had vision boards probably, I don't know, I think I've been doing them at least 15 years or so. And I hold on, have kept so many of them. Like this is me. I'm a hoarder. I'm also a hoarder, but that's okay because I want to see what have been my goals in the past and how far I've come and like just be proud of the accomplishments because sometimes we do get caught up in like, okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? Like, don't get complacent, but also like be appreciative and thankful and grateful for what has happened. So when you show gratefulness of what has been provided for you, I think that opens up more room for the possibility of the future too, because you just have that thankful, grateful heart. And I had to have that talk with my husband when he wanted this house. I'm like, dude, just be happy with the house that we have. Like, it's okay. But he's a dreamer and a goal setting person as well. Sorry, we're like naked in here. Well, we have a bathing suit on, but I'm just like, if y'all are looking at that, sorry. But this is my very first vision board. And it's like as easy as just cutting things out of a magazine and sticking them on a poster board and writing on it. Michaela, you might even remember this because I did this like a long time ago and I use it as an example all the time. When I first started in network marketing, I had a wedding that I was planning and paying for myself. And so that's where a lot of that is on here is like the ring, paying for my wedding, like a debt-free wedding, losing weight for that, having a goal for the wedding. I wanted like this Michael Kors person watch, I guess. This is a mirror. It's kind of creepy looking, but I put an affirmation in the mirror to be positive, to talk to myself positively in the mirror. A house that we wanted. So when I accomplished this stuff, I checked it off. And so it was just like a good, see, look, I had to change the date on this one because it didn't happen by that date. And so I just changed it and that's okay. It eventually definitely did happen. So then, as the years go on, well, I don't know where my up to date one is, but this one I believe was between, I think it's close to last year / this year. Because I put the ranks on there and I put them in like the rings from David Yurman because they're pretty. And so like when we accomplished ruby, emerald, sapphire, diamond, like I checked them off. The black diamond one might have fallen off or in my move. I don't know what happened. Like a dream home. What else? Time with my kids. I think I even have on this one or whatever one's my newest one. I wanted a winery. Oh no, it's one of these. Anyways, God, I have so many vision boards. It's like, I don't know, I love them. I'm a visionary person and I just love to make them. I'm crafty. Like I've always liked scrapbooking and stuff too. So I think this is the one where it was the winery. I didn't get a winery, but I mean, what we just got is across the street from a winery, actually. So we're just going to complement the winery. We'll have more of the other options. This door, which is so funny. I put this on here a while ago and I'm literally looking out at my door and it's the same exact door. It's crazy. One of these I put on, I share this all the time. I needed bedroom furniture, right? And I cut out some dresser and I put it on there. I don't remember which one it is exactly. We've got so many of these. Maybe does them with me as well. Oh, maybe this is my newest. This is last year. I don't know. Y'all, there's so many. Anyways, I put this dresser on there and I didn't really see my vision board at that point because it was behind my computer. So I didn't see the dresser every day, but I knew I had put it on there. So anyways, long story short, we went to a furniture store. We're like, yeah, let's just go check the clearance section. Let's see what they got. They had this dresser on sale and I'm like, oh, this is great. I love it. It's perfect. So we buy it on sale, like over 50% off. I come home, put the dresser in, and months later, I'm like rearranging my office and I take my vision board down. I'm like, you've got to be freaking kidding me. The dresser that I bought on sale was the same exact dresser that I cut out of a magazine, like probably the year before and put on my poster board. I didn't know when I was in the store buying the dresser, that was the same exact one. I had no idea that was going to go on sale. It was just like something that you put out there in the universe, you speak it, you say it, you're like, okay, I'm visualizing it. And I don't know, probably at least 80% of most of my goals have happened. And it's crazy that what happens when you really, think about them or manifest them or, just speak them and just put them down somewhere, whether it's writing or on, on your phone, on a graphic or on a poster board or however, like be a dreamer. And I will say sometimes some of us, we either have a guilty feeling about dreaming. I don't know if anyone's ever felt this before. Like, I want this beautiful home, right? But then I'm like, who am I to think that I could, get a $2 million home? Honestly, at this point, I don't know if I'd ever really want that anymore. I don't know if it's still a goal, but like, you start to think like, I don't deserve that. Why should I get a home like that? Or any home, right? Just buying a home. Maybe you just start to get that, that guilt in your mind of like, if I show that I am doing well, is that going to make other people mad or upset? Or am I going to like look like I'm bragging or, I don't know. I also have felt guilt before with some of my goals, but then I'm like, no, there is something for everyone. Everyone has their own personal goals. And if I want, a nice home for my family, that shouldn't matter what anybody else thinks about that. If that's what my goal is, then that's my goal. I also put a lot on there about giving back too. Like, it's always my goal to give more than I made as a teacher. I made like 50,000 a year as a teacher, and I always wanted to be able to give more than what I made as a teacher salary. And I have definitely done that multiple years. And so, yeah, thank you. And my first goal was to pay for a mission trip, right? Or to, tithe more. So whatever it is, it doesn't have to be materialistic stuff. That's what I guess I'm trying to say. It doesn't have to be, fancy stuff. It could be whatever your goals are. So if you've made one, I encourage you to go revisit it and see, how's it going? Have you accomplished some of those things? Are some of those even your goal anymore? And they might not be. And that's okay, right? You can change them out, just replace them or glue something over the top of it or delete it from your phone, whatever, But since it's mid-year, we still have 6 months, right? Even though we've already had the first of the year, so much can happen in the next 6 months. You can achieve what you want to achieve. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, it's too late, because it's not. Like, I've seen so much happen like within a day, so 6 months is plenty of time, even towards the end of this month, right? What do we have? A day, 2 days, 2.5 days, right? Anything can happen in 2 days, and believe anything can happen in 2 days. I remember I needed 18,000 in sales to hit like the top rank in the company, the biggest goal. And I'm like, I have 1 day. How am I ever going to have 18,000 in sales in 1 day? But we rallied the troops and we ran and we pushed and we hit 18,000 in a day. And so I'm just like, if we could do that, we can do anything. If we just believe it and we take action towards it, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Usually the first thing is believing, right? Believe and you're halfway there. The next thing is action. Most people believe, they have the vision, they have the idea, they want it, but they don't take action on it. And so then they get upset, they get mad that they didn't reach their goals, they blame it on other people, they blame it on the company, they blame it on whatever. When like, you kind of have to look and see, okay, well, what steps was I taking towards my goals? What did I even believe about the goals? Did I even believe in them to begin with? Right? So, just some reflection time. I think that's all I had as far as goals and vision boards. I know someone asked about an online party. I'd probably be here like for a whole nother 30 minutes if we talked about it. But if you want to know how to do them, just get with like your upline or your upline or whoever. We're here to help. So if you have some goals, you're revisiting them, you're like, I just don't know how I'm going to get there. Maybe we start with that. Maybe that's one thing we can do to take action and start. Or maybe you plan a Zoom for your potential people and we plan that as the action step towards your goals. Maybe you are an in-person person. I don't know if that's whatever, you know what I mean? Like, And then you plan a party at your house or something, a get together. Tomorrow is a ladies night, 80s theme that I did for Thirsty Thursday. We have ladies nights every month and no one volunteered for June. So I was like, you know what? Bingo, I'll volunteer and I will use this as my gummy gang party. And I'm going to put my products on display and let them try them while they're dancing their life away to 80s music, you know? Next month, I took Amanda's advice and doing a sip and shop. So I'm going to do back to school philanthropy where people can bring supplies and backpacks or whatever. And we want to fill the backpacks and give it to a school that needs supplies and backpacks for the students. And the sip and shop's going to have like the different vendors. I have a lot of people in our neighborhood that do different businesses and stuff. And so I'm just going to do it in my living room and people can donate supplies and then come shop from local vendors. Some might even want to give like a percentage to the charity or I haven't found it yet. I'm going to find it, but whatever it is, you know, so maybe that's an idea. I mean, that's a big thing to plan, but you know, if you find people in your area that want to partner with you, Amanda's like really good at that. She can explain more on a Zoom. I think we've done it at one point that we've explained it, but I don't know, just ideas for action steps to get towards your goals again and get us rocking and rolling. But I already feel it like summertime. I thought we were going to chill and coast. It ain't happening this year. Shout out. I know like Darnell and Jen, y'all hosted a Zoom. You guys have like crazy momentum. Christina, you just signed up at least 4 rock stars. Like Red, I know you got your first girl. Woo-hoo. So exciting. Other things, y'all put it in the chat. I just see these and people, y'all tell me the good things that happen. Please keep sharing them. Let me know. I want to highlight and shout everybody out. I am doing that drawing. I feel like I'm talking so much. I'm sorry. For the frother, whoever hit binary qualified will go in the drawing for the milk frother, however you say it. It takes batteries. It's not a rechargeable one, but they last forever. I feel like the batteries you put in there last for a very long time. So, and it's teal. I thought it was cute. Kind of goes along with our colors. So, okay. Anybody got anything else? I mean, if you have any questions on goals or vision boards, like totally unmute and ask. I'll stop talking.
I was gonna say I kind of had I had like 3 or 4 calls yesterday with my team and just setting up some goals. And, you know, we were kind of breaking down how to make $500. You need to make an extra $500 a month. Great. Let's start there. Like, that's so easy. I can teach anybody how to do that. And Kristen, you can teach anybody how to do that. And I started really thinking about it and trying to like, if y'all haven't figured out like your power products yet, because maybe you're new here, that's okay. That's okay. Like you don't have to know all of that like right away, but maybe just pick 2 products that really work for you to like kind of push, right? And if you know these 2 products work, let's say you know that Vibe High and Unicorn Drops are like your jam, right? If you can get people to get Vibe High on subscription, you actually get 75 points for Vibe High instead of 70. They give you more for that one. I don't know why. It's like they did it for me. I feel like a little bit because they know how much I love my vibe. But so you get 75 for that one, and then Unicorn Drops on subscription, you get 65. So that's 140. Okay, which means if you are doing that and you're getting people on subscription, in order, I think a lot of us, one of the first great goals like to run for is of course rep the brand and getting your first 4 customers and doing it in your first 30 days. But 2,500 is great. That's your next goal, because if you didn't come in here at Platinum, number 1, you organically earn Platinum and then you're maxing out the comp plan. And number 2, you earn a sparkly jacket here, guys. Okay, we have a sparkle jacket, right? And when we are all together in January and we're all wearing these sparkly jacket, it's insane what happens. People are just like, why do you all have these jackets? They're like attracted to us. It's wild what happens when we all wear the jackets together. I just like giggle at people. It's like moth to a flame. They're all like, you're all so pretty. And honestly, it's a conversation starter, right? So, but I started thinking in the beginning when I first started here, what was like my hardest thing to do? And my hardest thing to do was pitch this opportunity to other people. I was afraid. I was really, really afraid because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't making any money here yet. And I was like, who the fuck wants to follow me? Like, I don't even know how to lead myself down to the mailbox right now. Who am I going to get to follow me? Okay. Haven't checked my mail in 3 weeks because I'm that lazy. Like, no one's going to join my team. That was like the shit that I was telling myself here. So maybe that's what you're telling yourself here if you're new or you haven't got anybody to join you yet. And I get that. So you know what? This is what I'm telling my people. Focus on getting 15 new VIPs a month for the first 6 months that you are here. If you get 15 VIP customers on subscription and you get them to buy whatever pack it is that you decide, and we break down your goals, you know that like you need to sell 15 is really like the golden number. I like to say, give or take a couple of packs. Sometimes you need to sell a little more. Sometimes you can sell a little less depending on what you run with, right? But then month 2, they're going to have the subscription run again. So you're going to hit binary in your second month. So now you're unlocking second part of the comp plan. And every single person that you signed up the month before, you need to go back to and say, hey, you love the products. You've gotten another month's worth of stuff. Would you want to maybe host a party for me? Okay. Because now you already have people that love the products and they're like, sure, you say to them, you can earn money back for your order for next month. Or you can join as a rock star and you can earn all the money back from the party. If you can get, 2 new people from your party, they're going to reimburse you that $25 fee. And then you say, and if we can get 4 people from your party, or we can get you 4 sales in your first 30 days, you're going to get a free jar of gummies and a free Ariel hat. That's an amazing accomplishment to get in your first month running. And it's so much easier to flip somebody that's already fallen in love with your products to being a rock star than trying to tell somebody who just joined the company, who's never tried the products, to host a party and get 2 customers in 48 hours with a product they've never tried and they don't really believe in yet. So if you're afraid to get rock stars, get the customers and convert the customers. They're already believers. And you can say, girl, you already love the products. Like I'm building a team while you sit here and order underneath you while you order products. You might as well try this with me for $25. What do you have to lose? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And they, again, are already liking the products. So like, I feel like your close rate will be better and you'll get less discouraged with yourself because you're already approaching people that, again, are fans. They're fans of you and they're fans of the brand. So like, that's a win-win right there. So if you are somebody who's, let's say, not comfortable closing rock stars, because I'm not going to say I'm not good at closing rock stars. I'm not going to say that. I am a fantastic leader and people want to join my team. And I am really good at closing rock stars, even though I don't have any this month yet. Okay, friends, it doesn't mean anything. We leaders sometimes have slow months. And that's what Kristen said too. Like, shit happens. We all have like weird months. I'm still having a really great month. I'm just not signing any rock stars. And I don't, it's fine. People need to watch me more. They need to hear me be loud about things. I haven't talked about leadership that much until recently. And I haven't really offered the opportunity to a lot of people until recently. And that's on me. That's on me. So I'm hoping that if I can teach my team how to get 15 new VIPs a month, that if you can approach all those 15 VIPs the next month, get a couple of them to host a party for you, those people will convert. And then if you can teach them to get their 15 people and do the same thing, think of the duplication. And if you continue to get 15 people every single month from now to December, that's 90 new enrollments that you'll have on your team, friends. And if you could maybe capture, let's just say bare minimum, you get 1 person a month to do this with you, right? That's 6 rock stars that you have on your team. And if you can teach 6 people to get 15 people every month, y'all start doing math. They join you in July, that's 90 per each 6 people, 9 times 6, that's 540 people. Holy shit, friends, your team is like now 650 people. Because you offered it to the customers that already love you, want to be a part of you, and like your products. Those aren't people to be afraid to approach, right? So if you are afraid, that is my suggestion to like my whole team right now. If you're like, this whole party thing's freaking me out, because it was kind of freaking me out a little bit too. I'm not going to lie. I came from a company where parties were like all we did. And I'm like, I don't want to host another party. But you know what? I have all the time in the world to host a 40-minute Zoom call for some people, to get people on for like, I honestly didn't think last night we had like a little team like opportunity call and we did it on Zoom instead of on Facebook because we keep getting flagged for saying CBD and saying like plant healing and saying things like this, and they're flagging our videos. So we're like, let's do it on Zoom. We can't get flagged on Zoom, right? Like we're safe here a little bit. And there was 15, 16, 17 people on this call with us last night. And I was like, holy shit. It actually, there's a lot of people here right now, and all these people want to heal. This is incredible. And I can only imagine like what's going to keep happening if like we keep doing this. And you know what? People were willing to show up for a half-hour call to learn something. They were willing to throw an earbud in. But you know what? Some people aren't willing to like look through a Facebook group. So don't sell yourself short with only doing Facebook group parties. Maybe take yourself completely off Facebook and do the Zoom call. And the one thing that we did do when we started last night was the rock star that invited you, if like they were all on like with them, it was to PM them your email address so we could plug them into the audition then and there. And then we plugged them into our app, and then they could send them the lookbook from there. So they could kind of take a look at the lookbook. And then we told them to pop on the live on Thursday night to hear more about the opportunity. We just kind of like talked about products more and like how they could help. And it was really, really great. It was really, really great because it was a small call and people could ask questions in the chat too. So, you know, I think there's lots of ways to have parties. Like Kristen said, there's in-person ones too. I'm not going to chat anymore about it, but Amanda and Kristen are really great at in-person parties. So they should definitely do another little training for us on that, because I've watched what Amanda does at parties and it's wild. Anything else you have to say, Kristen? Because I know I talked a little bit longer.
No. Anybody want to say anything?
Anybody got any questions? All right, guys, good. Well, you know, if anybody wants to talk, break down goals, you need anybody like leaders to look at your numbers, let us know. It is the end of the month. You want to make sure that your commission's qualified. You want to make sure that your teammates are commissions qualified. You want to make sure that if they're close to binary qualified, if you don't know how to get binary qualified, make sure you talk to your leader, figure that out, figure out if you're close. If it's like your first couple of months, you're probably not there yet, and that is okay. Don't freak out about it. That pay doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there and waits for you to cash in on it. So like, there's no panicking. Most people are not binary qualified till I'd say month 3 or 4, and you really have to actively be going back and forth and building properly, you know? So again, if you were getting 15 people a month and putting 7 on one leg and 8 on another, you are 100% binary qualified that next month, without a doubt, just because they're on subscription and you've got 7 on one leg, 8 on the other leg, all their subscriptions run, it qualifies you in your reorder section. It qualifies you in your new or reorder section in the bottom that you need. I don't know, friends. I feel like 15 is that magic sauce number. I don't know what it is about it, but I feel like that's it. So go for that, whether it be rockstars or VIPs. 15 is your monthly goal. That's one per day.
I used to do this Brittany all the time too. We would get a paper and like she would make the squares and make it like hers were always like 33. I don't know why that's the number, but 33, 120, group, whatever V, one of the V's, whatever goes towards the group volume, V's.
Right.
And she would make it and she would cross out the boxes every single time that she or her team member, somebody like got that in volume and she'd cross it off. So I don't know. I'm visual, like I said. So
yeah, it's great to do that. I love that.
All righty, y'all. Well, everyone have an awesome night. Tomorrow is live and I don't know who's going to be on, but it's always amazing and fire. So we'll chat later. Love y'all.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.